Yo, how's it going everybody? It's me, Mario, and today I'm going to show you how to make custom projectile trails for all of your projectiles. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Alright guys, so it's me, Mario, back again with another tutorial for you guys. This is a pretty simple tutorial, so all the commands for this will be in the description below, but before you leave, I would recommend just watching me breaking down these commands so you would understand how to make custom items for projectiles. So basically, if I take a snowball right here, you can see that it won't have the same projectile trail as this one, right? It doesn't have a projectile trail at all, so I recommend just staying here for another second so you would know how to get the custom item that you want. And now, let's get straight into the commands. Alright, so I'm going to be breaking down the 3 commands right now for how to make custom projectiles on the bow. So these are basically the 3 same commands, except for each projectile it's different particle, and something's a little bit different in the command. So we're going to start off by breaking down the arrow ones, and then going down on the differences between these commands. So the first command we have right here is execute as all players who are holding the item of a bow. Now what we want special about this is we don't want just any bow right here. If I take one bow, we don't want any bow that we just take out of our inventory to have that special tag. We want specific bows, right? So how do we do that exactly? Well, with adding this tag option right here. So the tag we have that I have chosen, of course you can change that tag, is proj 1b, right? So this 1b is necessary in the end with these 2 dots right here, and this is necessary for the command to work. But how do you get a custom bow with a specific tag? It's actually very simple. All you have to do is /give @a bow, and then these curly brackets, and you do the tag that you want. So proj 1b, these 2 dots, and just close it up with another curly bracket, press enter, and that's how you get your specific tagged bow, right? It's very easy. That's all you have to do to make a difference. Now, let's continue on this command. We execute it at all the players who are holding a bow with that tag. Now, we want to execute it at ourselves, and now we want to run a command. So this command is tagging the nearest arrow to us, which is 2 blocks from us, right? So all arrows who are 2 blocks from us will get a tag of proj. So this basically means that when I shoot a bow right here, then that arrow that I shot gets a specific tag, right? So that basically allows us to specify what particles we want for that specific arrow, which points us to our next command. So our next command is executing at the arrow which has the tag of proj. So it's all entities with the tag of proj, at s, run particle, and the particle that you want. Now I'm going to quickly break down the particle command. First of all, we have the particle that you want. So I chose Angry Villager which is this red one right here. And then the next thing we want is the position. Right, so this is the position of the command of the particle on the entity, or the particle's location. Sometimes it's going to be coordinates if you want particles in a specific place, but here we just want it on the entity. So I have it on -0.7, but if I just change it from -0.7 to -7, you can see right here that the particles are way under the arrow, and we don't want that. So this is why we have this positioning option. Now, for each projectile, it's going to be a different position. For the snowballs, it is exactly, that was sort of trident. For the snowballs, it is exactly on the particle, on the entity itself. So we don't have to change the position here. Same with the trident, we don't have to change any of the positions. So that's the position, and then one of these 3 zeros. So these 3 zeros are the spread amount of the particles. So if you wanted to spread 1 block away from the 1 by 1 by 1 blocks away from the arrow, all you have to do is just change this to 1, 1, and 1. Now this causes a problem, which basically means the projectile is not concentrated, right? So the custom trail is not concentrated on the arrow. So this is why this is 0, 0, 0 right here. And the 2 last things we have is the speed. Now the speed You can kind of play around with this for each particle. Usually I would recommend keeping it on 0 or 1, depends on the particle. You can just mess around with stuff. And then the last thing we have is the amount of particles that we want. So right here it says 15, but what difference does it actually make? So if I go ahead and change these all to 1, shoot with the arrow, you see there are a certain amount of particles, and that's what we have right here. But let's say we want to change it, have more particles. If I set this to 250 particles, you're going to see a lot more particles. So usually for this kind of stuff, you want to leave it on a decently low amount of particles. There we go. Changing it back to 15. Whoops. And yeah, that's basically a particle command. And now what's the differences between all of these commands? What makes them all different? So basically it's all the same right here, except for different stuff. So what we have right here is this trident. So trident tag proj, exactly the same, except we want to execute this at the trident that we are holding. And we also want to have it a different tag, because if we're going to give it the same tag, we won't be able to have different particles, right? We won't be able to have different particles, and we don't want that. So we want a different tag. Whoops. Cap lock. There we go. And then it's basically the same, except it executes on a different tag. So choose the particles, whatever you want. Again, different position, different spread, different amount of particles, and different speed for each particle, most of them at least. And we have the last command. Now, this last command doesn't affect most of the projectiles that we have, like snowball and stuff. It doesn't change it. But what does that command actually do? So if I turn this off for the arrow, what you're going to see right here is there's going to be continuously a particle on the arrow. So if we don't want that, all we have to do is just change this to tag at all entities who are inGround, right? So inGround 1b, that's a tag. It's an NBT tag. We want to remove the tag of proj. So if we do this, as soon as it touches the ground or block, you're going to see that particle stops. So this is also for the trident, and it doesn't affect anything for the snowball. So this is how you make custom projectile trails for any item, for any projectile basically. And the cool thing is, one last thing about this, is that you can actually also do it for players. So if I tag myself with proj, you're gonna see right here. Whoops. You're gonna see right here. No, my mistake. There you see it. You're gonna see right here that you also have a projectile trail. So that's pretty cool. You can position it differently for yourself, and it's pretty sick. So yeah, that was all for this tutorial, guys. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace out.